Not only welcome back, but Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, this is the very first Christmas album.
Da-na-na-na!
Yeah. Why after all these years? You must have thought about doing this, years ago.
Well, strangely enough, no, it's never occurred to me. I mean, I thought about it. I thought, well, maybe that would be nice. And I thought, oh, look, there are just so many Christmas records released each year. I may as well just put my efforts into doing one single album a year and just get that in and get it good. This year, because the jazz album had done very well and but it wasn't really like a huge commercial success, which is fine. It got an ARIA award and, it's very jazz. I thought there was room enough to do another, and we could do it in the same way which we did the jazz record, which was choose it, record it over several days, like really just not get into the minutiae, not like labour over any tiny, just let the spirit of it just kind of rock and roll and then have it done. We did this months ago and then, it was all ready to rock and roll, and I can't believe I'm here actually promoting. I actually can't believe it's actually out. Yeah. I'm always like, wow, yeah. I mean,
there's one choice to say, let's do a Christmas album, but you've got so many songs to choose from. How do you narrow it down?
Oh, well, I was sort of pretty strict actually, because I figured, Christmas means so much and on many levels for different people. I mean, obviously we understand it to be a religious event first, right? So you don't want to diss people who take that very seriously. I appreciate that some people do take that very seriously. And then there are others who enjoy Christmas and like to celebrate it more because it's about family. And then there are others, of course, who are like Bob Dylan, who are Jewish, who are now no longer Jewish, or at least if they are Jewish, they've decided to take on Christmas for more of the atmospheric aspects of it. I'm not sure if he's taking it on wholly as a religious thing. I don't know.
Well, Dylan's done the album to raise money for people who are homeless so that they can be fed on Christmas Day.
Indeed. Yeah. And that is exactly why we do Christmas. I mean, every year I've done Christmas for the Maya charity event, and, they put up a beautiful Christmas album. I've had a great chance to write some Australian Christmas carols, which was good. But then this year I just thought, no, you know what, I've got a kid, and it just seems like un-Christmas-like not to do one for her. And I was raised in a house with, we didn't have Mariah Carey or Christina Aguilera then, or even we didn't even have Nat King Cole's daughter. We had actually Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby and Jose Feliciano, which is one of the tracks I did it, and also Nana Mouskouri, I think, was another big one.
Wow.
She did the big Christmas album that year in the 70s. So I just thought, okay, it's time.
Everyone's got their sort of favourite Christmas albums, haven't they? Like I always go back to the Phil Spector Christmas album.
Oh, wow.
For instance, which is pretty amazing stuff.
That must be amazing. Who's on that? Like all the Ronettes and Supremes?
All Ronettes, all of the ones that he worked with the Wall of Sound, which is really, really cool stuff.
You didn't hear that. You were not talking about that one, although that'll be the first one I go out and buy after mine. You didn't, no, that doesn't exist, that one.
And the Beach Boys did a pretty cool one too.
Oh, yeah, the Beach Boys would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, see, to me, I reckon that's exactly, that's how I chose the tunes. I was like, I wanted to get into that scene from the 50s through to the 60s because I reckon that's the era of Christmas for me. I don't know why. Oh, well, actually, no, I should say the 40s through into the 50s. There's something more romantic and traditional about Christmas albums of that era for me than R&B Christmas records, because it doesn't hit me in the same way. It seems always more... It's not something that you can sing along to as well. So I really love those early ones where you sing along and it's very simple and not too, not too fancy schmancy.
Well, you're hitting a few of the old rock and roll classics from Christmas, aren't you? I saw Mummy Kissing Santa Claus, for instance.
Yeah.
Great old song.
Yeah, Santa Baby.
And the more traditional White Christmas, the Bing Crosby, which was never really a Christmas song. It was from a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it originally was written for.
Yeah. Well, I think actually, now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I heard that song, now either Judy Garland was talking about it, it was actually at the tail end of the war, and which is why there's this nostalgia to it, because it's I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright. And it's almost like you could get quite sad, and because I do think that the influence or something was about come home because it's Christmas, we miss you. And obviously many young boys had gone to war and weren't going to return that Christmas. It seemed life was laced back then with a real different atmosphere of, you know, family and obviously celebrating family, because families had been broken apart or had been shipped away and never came back. So our culture, we don't have, well, we do have war, but it's not in our face, it seems, as it was in the 50s then. And thankfully, that's the way it is.
Well, I guess, you know, there's a common thread then between White Christmas and Happy Christmas, War is Over, John and Yoko's song.
Yeah, well, I love that one.
Yeah.
I love John anything. John Lennon anything. I love him. I just adore him, and I loved performing that track.
And it's one of those songs that has become, you know, one of the classic Christmas songs now, hasn't
it? Yeah, it's awesome. And of course, you can't have a Christmas album without Elvis.
Blue Christmas?
So
that was an Elvis song, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's so Elvis. Yeah. Well, I actually, in our house, we had a Don Ho Christmas album.
Don Ho.
Do you remember Don Ho?
From Hawaii.
He was a Hawaiian Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I had to kind of have a little bit of that, chuck a little bit of that in the luau.